this video, I'm going to show you how to create this epic character in Adobe Photoshop using a simple 4-step process. We'll start with a rough sketch to capture the mood, then move into clean line art, follow it up with vibrant flat colors, and finally bring it to life with professional shading. Stick around until the end to see the final polish and those tiny details that make the character truly pop. Let's get started. Create a new layer in Photoshop and pick a blue color to start your rough sketches. I personally use blue because it makes the final black line art much easier to see and helps in defining the forms precisely. But feel free to choose any color that works for you. For this piece, I'm using an entry-level Wacom tablet. If you're looking to upgrade your workflow, budget-friendly Wacom is a great way to make the drawing process much smoother. Once you've shaped the character's general pose with the initial rough sketch, go ahead and create a new layer from the bottom left panel. Lower the opacity of your base sketch layer so it's just a faint guide. Now, on the new layer, start refining your sketch by adding more specific details. This step is all about cleaning up those messy lines and defining the character's features before we move on to the final ink.
Right now, I'm just exploring the character with loose, messy lines, experimenting with the head tilt and the hand pose. I haven't pre-planned this design. Everything you see is happening spontaneously during this recording. If jumping straight into sketching feels a bit overwhelming, try starting with a simple stick figure first. Use those basic lines to build the skeleton of your character, and then layer on the details step by step to transform it into a professional illustration. After finishing this layer, I'm grouping both sketch layers together, dropping their opacity once again, and creating a fresh layer on top. Now I have a much clearer, more detailed guide ready for the final line art. Honestly, if you want to get the best possible result, don't hesitate to do 3 or 4 rounds of sketching. Start with a stick figure, map out the body pose, and then layer on the details step by step on separate layers while lowering the opacity of the previous ones. By the time you stack a few layers, you'll naturally see a solid character come to life. For this illustration, I'm sticking to my signature style, bold outlines and huge expressive eyes. On this new layer, I'm tweaking my brush size and adjusting the smoothing settings to get those clean, fluid strokes. Keep in mind, no one gets it perfect on the first try. I often redraw a single line multiple times until it looks exactly right. At this stage, the character is fully locked in my mind, a tired, burnt-out office capybara, and I'm shaping the outlines to perfectly match that vibe. Let me know in the comments below, what kind of character would you like to draw next? Or how would you style this capybara? I'll be reading and replying to your comments, so drop them down there. If this video gets enough likes, I'll create a follow-up where I quickly transform this character into a vector asset in Adobe Illustrator and show you some brand new coloring techniques. So if you want to see that, please let me know by hitting that like button. Supporting my work with a simple like is the best way to help me keep creating high-quality and useful content for you. I want you to be a part of this creative journey, so let's glow together. Also, tell me in the comments, which part of character design do you enjoy the most, and which part do you find the most challenging? I want to make more videos based on your struggles and discuss them with you in the comments. Once the line art is finished, I create a new layer at the very bottom and fill it with a solid color using the paint bucket tool. I usually start with a blue background instead of white so that I don't miss any gaps or unpainted spots while coloring. After setting the background, I open a new layer on top and start painting. This is the most therapeutic part of the video for me. I personally love the process of coloring and watching coloring videos, so even though there are faster ways to do it, I prefer to take my time and paint piece by piece. To keep the video engaging, I sometimes outline a specific area first and then use the paint bucket tool to fill the inside. When you do this, you might notice tiny white pixels where the colors meet. I zoom in and carefully paint over those lines to ensure everything is solid, though a few missed spots aren't a big deal when you're just starting out. It's all about enjoying the process. I'm carefully painting along the outlines piece by piece with light strokes. Since every section will have a different color, I'm doing my best to stay strictly within the lines.
Capybaras are usually known for their serious, deadpan look, but they are also incredibly fun and memeable creatures. So even though this character is a tired, burnt-out office worker, I wanted to bring out that playful contrast through its wardrobe by using vibrant, bright colors. Once all the base colors are filled on this layer, we'll move on to a new layer for the shading and lighting effects, followed by a few final highlights to make the character truly pop. For a smoother shading workflow, I sometimes paint every single element on its own separate layer, like the shirt on one, the tie on another, and then use clipping masks to shade within those boundaries without spilling over. However, I'll keep things simpler in this video, but let me know if you want a dedicated tutorial on advanced layering techniques in the future. While I usually lean toward flat colors for my vector designs in Illustrator, I love picking vibrant, high-contrast colors when sketching in Photoshop. It really opens up the character and makes it pop. Color selection is honestly one of the most critical stages of drawing. A poor color palette can easily ruin a great piece and completely lose the audience's attention. That's why, if you want a professional result, you need to pay close attention to color harmony. If you struggle with this, you can use color palette websites like Color Hunt. Just search for your main color and it will give you endless inspiration with perfectly matching combinations. If your characters often look washed out, lifeless, or mismatched, definitely give these tools a try. In fact, I'm planning a series of YouTube shorts showcasing these types of life-saving design tools, so make sure to subscribe and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on any of them. If there's anything in this video that feels confusing, or if you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to ask in the comments below. I'll be looking through all of them and replying to every single one. Also, I've dropped the link to my Patreon in the description. By joining my Patreon, you can directly support the channel and get access to exclusive content, project files, vector icon packs, and early access to my videos. Plus, as a Patreon supporter, you can reach out to me directly for one-on-one help, where I can guide you through screenshots or personalized videos to help solve any design issues you're facing. A huge thank you to all my current Patreon supporters. You guys make this channel possible. Once all the base colors are filled, create a new layer on top and apply a clipping mask to our color layer so we can easily add the shading. To do this on Windows, simply hover your mouse between the two layers, hold down the Alt key, and click. For Mac users, hold down the Option key and do the exact same thing. Alternatively, you can just right-click the top layer and select Create Clipping Mask. This technique is an absolute lifesaver. Otherwise, your shadow and lighting effects will constantly spill outside the lines, and you'll end up wasting a ton of time cleaning it up. For the shading, I usually pick the base color and adjust it to a slightly darker tone, then spontaneously map out where the shadows should fall. Typically, I darken the areas on the opposite side of my light source to build depth. Before adding shadows, the character can look a bit flat and lifeless, but as soon as you apply them, everything starts to stand out. While you could go for a more detailed or fluid shading style, I'm sticking to my signature approach. It might look a bit amateurish at first, but by the end, it will transform into a unique, stylized character. Shading is actually a very deep process. If you master light and shadow, you can even achieve a full 3D effect. However, with my background as a cartoonist, I love keeping my characters close to that classic caricature vibe. It gives them a personality that's truly my own. I'm adding various hatched shadow lines to create the wrinkles and creases in the character's clothing. Without these touches, the outfit would look way too fit and tailored, which completely goes against the core message we want to send. We are trying to build a tired, burnt-out office worker, so we need to give him that messy, worn-out look, making the clothes sag, wrinkle, and look slightly oversized from the exhaustion of a long workday. When drawing, you have to pay close attention to storytelling details like this. If I drew a perfectly clean outfit and a smiling expression, it would completely ruin the vibe, and the piece wouldn't build an emotional connection with the viewer. That's why before you even start sketching, you must think about the character's background, their psychological state, their job, their struggles, or their happiness.
You need to know exactly who your target audience is so you can layer on the right details that allow your artwork to truly connect with people on an emotional level. Honestly, this is why many artists have flawless technical skills, but their work fails to grab attention. They simply miss out on these storytelling details. To finish things off, I'm adding a few highlights with a low opacity white brush and some subtle smudges to really make the character pop. Then I create another layer and clip it to the one below. I choose a warm yellow, or whatever color fits your imaginary light source, and draw some sharp rim lights along the edges. To soften this effect, I head over to the filter menu, go to Blur, and apply a Gaussian blur. This gives the light a much softer, more natural glow. You can further refine this by lowering the layer's opacity or experimenting with different blending modes to see which light tone fits your vibe best. Finally, I'm adding one last clipped layer for some extra lighting touches to reach that signature style I'm aiming for. And there we have it. Our character is ready. Thank you so much to everyone who watched this video until the very end. If you want to see more content like this, please don't forget to like the video, leave a comment, and subscribe to the channel with notifications turned on so you never miss an update. I have so many useful and exciting tutorials planned for you, and as long as you keep supporting me, I'll keep drawing and sharing them all. Your likes really help this video get noticed by the algorithm, so please smash that like button to show your support. Also, I can't wait to see your own artwork, so don't hesitate to share your designs with me. I'm super excited to check them out. I'm really looking forward to reading and replying to your thoughts about this video, so drop everything in the comments. Thanks again, and I'll see you in the next video.